Todd, you talked about not liking the first period yesterday and the start and all that. Going into a practice day like this, what do you focus on, or what do you try to send to the guys in terms of messaging?
Well, the practice was. We never undervalue practice, but today was just another one of those skates to really get our playing legs out and wake ourselves up a little bit. It wasn't demanding by any means. We worked on a few things that we think we'll need against Philly, and also a couple things we need to improve on. But it was very quick and very short. That's all based on minutes and schedule and travel.
Your defense now, you have any idea? Obviously Mark's out.
We are, I guess, first of all, it's a real good thing that we have, Larson and guys like Greiba signed and Russell signed at the end of the summer, because it created the depth that we need now. When I look at our D, we've got the four veterans that are playing. We have the four veterans that are out. Reinhardt, who we consider a prospect, was hurt in the minors, so we're tapping our D, 10 or 11 deep now. And that's a good thing for our organization. I don't think we had the ability to do that in the past. Now it's a matter of parlaying that into wins, and we'll have to make some lineup decisions and some pair decisions as we move forward. But it's certainly in flux right now.
How will you know if Davidson's ready? Do you have a test for him or something like that?
Davidson won't be ready tomorrow. He won't be ready tomorrow, and our odds are very stacked against him being ready in Minnesota the following day, whatever day that is. And maybe when we get home, but right now he won't be ready.
This looks like it's Simpson or Simpson.
Yeah, we'll have another defenseman recalled, and one of those two guys will play tomorrow. We just have to make a decision based on shot and need. But we feel good about Simmer. He's put himself on the map, and if it's Simmer, then great, and if not, then he'll get a chance eventually.
Some of the bloggers want to know why you called a timeout there in the last minute.
Because they had an alignment that we weren't prepared for. We ended up losing the draw, but if we win the draw, we were prepared to execute against it, and we felt we needed it. They didn't score off a face-off play or anything like that, so it had nothing to do with the calling of the timeout. They ended up moving the puck around, and they earned the goal. And sometimes other teams do good things as well. I liked our positioning for the whole 40 seconds or whatever it was on our end.
Sometimes they had different people playing different positions?
They were lined up much differently than what we normally see, and took our escape routes away from us, so we had to adjust.
I just wanted to ask, in your time coaching and your experiences with all the teams you've coached, what is it that kickstarts a team to wake up when the puck drops? Is it just them mentally, or is it the coaches drilling in a message? What have you found?
Well, we're not a lot different than any other team in the league. I think we can do a better job of it, and that's maturity and being ready to go. But we're human beings. I think we all have to think about what it's like to go to work on a Wednesday if we're not a hockey player, and sometimes it's tough to get the engines going. And if your opponent or a coworker has got a little more jump and a little more skip in his stride, he's probably going to perform better that day. But they're human beings, and we have to think about that sometimes. They're not machines. They're not robots. They have good days when they feel great. They have other days when they don't feel that good. But we need to improve in that area, and we'll work towards it.
I guess as a coach, the hard part is, you have a team good enough to beat the Washingtons and the St. Louises and the Chicagos, handily Chicago, and yet you've lost to some teams who you're probably sitting back saying, okay, we're playing better than them. How did we lose this game?
Well, first of all, I've read some of the articles, and I think there's a bit of a disrespect for some of the teams that aren't at or near the top of the point standings. And those teams are hard to play against. They're well coached, and they've got a lot of talent. They get in the way sometimes, and they're allowed to win games and play as well too. And the league is as tight as it's ever been. So winning with your B game doesn't exist anymore, no matter who you play. And then after that, when you do beat the upper echelon or the top teams in the league, that's very rewarding. But if you give it back on a night where you should be able to come out with a victory, they all even out, and it becomes a balancing act. And again, we need to improve in that area.
Drake said you called down the bench and you said somebody is going to play the off wing with, and he thought you meant you were talking to Leon, and he didn't hear it right.
No.
And he was shocked when all of a sudden you tapped him.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's hard for players. It's hard for staff. You try and find groups of players that you think have a little jump and a little spark. And I thought Drake had energy. He had legs. And as it turns out, he gave that line a little bit of life and a little bit of juice. And they were in the majority of the scoring chances, and gave us a chance to claw back into the game. Sometimes you look for a trigger point, and if you're a player, you want to be that catalyst. You don't want to be the guy that's putting the brakes on the group. You want to be the catalyst. And last night I thought Drake provided us with that spark.
Some of your younger guys didn't play them much. Obviously Jesse hadn't played, but he didn't do a whole lot. Was another one of those games where he was caught standing or not doing, or how did that work?
Well, he didn't. There was a line that didn't get that much ice time for different reasons. He was part of it, so I don't think you can paint him with, or just paint him with the brush. It has to be a group of three, and we'll continue to work with him. He'll continue to work. He had a few nights off and came into a situation where our team was flat, and we can't expect the 18-year-old to be that catalyst. He followed the lead of the group, and as the night went on, we went to three lines, and he unfortunately wasn't part of that.